The Canadiens force a Game 5 thanks to an OT win. Who saw that one coming? They are now plus 185 underdogs on the road for that game. Geoff, do you think they can push this series further?
I mean, they certainly could. Anything can happen. It's sports, Jessie. But if you're asking me what's going to happen, no, I don't think this one's going to go further. Look, the Canadiens got a spirited effort. They had some real breakthroughs in this series. If we're being dead honest, Nick Suzuki is seriously coming into his own. Looks like he's going to be a force for them for years to come, which is really nice to see if you're a Canadiens fan. They got Romanoff in the last game, scoring a huge goal. But are those guys going to be enough to just all of a sudden, push this game to Game 7 or something like that? I don't think so. You've got a Lightning squad who actually carried the play the last time out. And kind of got a little bit unlucky that they didn't grab the win in that game. I feel like going into the alternate puck line here, either just going with the minus 1.5 at plus 125 for Tampa, or just going with the -1 at minus 141 is the play here. I think Tampa closes out in Game 5.
AJ, what do you think?
Well, we don't need Paul on the show because we don't need three of us all saying the same thing. Geoff and I can take care of that ourselves. Look, we all thought they would get one, right? Maybe two for the Habs. But the thing about this game or going into the next game is that this is just the second time in his last 12 games that Vasilevsky's save percentage has dipped below 900. You think he's going to be happy about that? Absolutely not. This is going to be a motivated guy. It's going to be rocking with fans. They've had two quiet games in Montreal. They're going to be packed full, even with the hurricane outside. I expect that arena to just be absolutely packed. For me, I don't love the limited value you're getting on the puck line to give up a goal and a half at plus 125. I like more if I have to give that much up. I think Geoff's right. Maybe you look at -1. Obviously, the money line is not the play, in my opinion, at minus 220. Overall, I think I would just avoid it. Look at totals, player props, stuff like that. Maybe the line moves a little bit by tomorrow to make that puck line a little more favorable.
All right, AJ, the odds for Game 5 to go back to OT are plus 335. Do you like that bet?
I really don't. I think, for me, I'm expecting a bit of a rout here, and not the 8-0, monstrosity we saw in the previous round. But, I think the Lightning get the first goal in this game and just close it out. Maybe 3-1, 4-1, something like that. End it early, start celebrating. I really don't think we're going to see overtime in this game.
Geoff, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think if Montreal was going to push this game to OT, they're going to have to get the first goal, like AJ said. And I just don't know, with a packed house at Tampa and Vasilevsky, obviously going to be hyper-focused after his first bad game in forever. It's a pretty unlikely scenario. Now, we saw it in the last game. That's great. But I don't feel like chasing this prop is really intelligent at all here. You are getting bigger odds to do it. But, yeah, this one just screams like Tampa gets a 1-goal lead, and it's over because they are so good at locking down, and they're going to be hyper-focused. They do not want to go back to Montreal. So, no, I'd be fading the OT prop here.
Yeah, Geoff, the prop for the series to go to 7 games is plus 475. I'm guessing there's no interest in that.
It just really isn't. I mean, 7 games, look, again, it's sports. Anything could happen. And look, Carey Price is kind of standing on his head. I think that if you were going to go this route and just think that, okay, Carey Price is going to get back in there, why not just hit up Carey Price and the MVP odds or something like that? I mean, that way, at the very least, you've got Carey Price at a huge number, and you could hedge that out perhaps with a Tampa win in Game 7 or something like that. But I think that looking at the series odds there's better ways to go about a Montreal comeback than just, blindly betting them to this series to go 7 games. Again, I think looking at Carey Price perhaps in the MVP odds is one way to do it. But no, if we're talking about just in terms of how far I think the series is going to go, even if it gets to 6, I don't think it's going to get further than that.
Yeah, AJ, you agree?
Absolutely. Look, if you want reasons to take that bet, Carey Price had a fantastic game, really an outstanding series. I really like this new line that the Habs put together of Suzuki, Coffield, and Anderson, and it worked really well in Game 4, but they'll adjust to that. As Geoff mentioned, Romanoff gets into this game, got a goal. I think this guy should have been playing much sooner, but that's a totally different debate here. For me, I don't see this going even to Game 6. I think this is done tomorrow night.
Well, Andre Vasilevsky is still the consummate favorite at minus 125. AJ, has anything happened the last few games make you think it's still not his award to win? Perhaps, like Geoff said, Carey Price standing on his head, putting a little doubt in there?
Absolutely nothing, in my opinion. Yes, the low save percentage in Game 4 doesn't help, but look, the guys that on the Lightning that could have honestly challenged him for Conn Smythe didn't do anything in that game either. Hedman, Point, Kucherov combined 0 points in Game 4. As I said last week, the only person that has any chance of beating Vasilevsky as the Conn Smythe here is Carey Price, and it's going to take him winning the rest of the series. That's the only way I see this happening, is if he wins these next 3 games and is able to close it out for them.
Yeah, Geoff, you look like you agree with that.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, look, Kucherov has cut the odds down a little bit, which is interesting. Braden Point's cooled off. So, again, we talked about how those guys might split votes. It does seem like Kucherov is pulled in front of Point just as being the best forward for the Lightning. So that worries you a little bit if you've got, like, Vasilevsky exposure. But, again, even if he had one more bad game, I mean, he's probably going to have one more good game to close out the series. So it's really, like, you're going to need, like, a hat trick here from Kucherov, in my opinion, for him to get the MVP over Vasilevsky. And quite honestly, that might not even do it. So Vasilevsky's still the odds favorite. I'm not really interested in taking any piece of any other Tampa Bay player. I think, like AJ said, and again, I alluded to this, if you think Montreal is capable to come back, then Carey Price at plus 1,100 probably makes more sense than betting the series line to go to 7 games. But that's just like a completely different idea, completely different prop. Vasilevsky is still the target here. And quite frankly, I think even at minus 125, there's some value there.